Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Money Hungry Mama. I am so excited because today I am sitting here with Amanda. Amanda, take it away.
Amanda. I am from Little Beat Adventures. We're a soft play rental company for kids' parties. I am a mom to a 5-year-old little girl named Isabella, and also a wife, also a dog mom, also kind of everything under the sun. And we are just so excited to be on this podcast today.
I'm so excited to have you today. Everything under the sun. I love it. That doesn't just sum us up as moms. So, Amanda, tell us, how did Little Bean Adventures get started? What made you dive into soft play and bounce houses?
My daughter's 5. So about 2 years ago, I was totally, completely burned out from working full time and also being a mom and working in the medical field and kind of just like losing myself in the whole working mom world.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that like I was just miserable all the time at home, at work, with my husband, with being a mom. Like it just wasn't enjoyable for me. So I was looking for something to be a little bit more creative, to kind of let my
Mm-hmm.
creative side fly. And one day my manager from my old job had come in and said, "Oh, I went to this party this weekend and they had this great like play area for the kids." And she was showing me pictures of it. And I was like, "That's really cool. I could do that, but like make it look much nicer and make it look prettier."
Yeah.
And I came home and I told my husband Vinny, and I was like, "Listen, like this is what I've been looking for. Could be like the easiest side hustle." Looking back, it was not easy, obviously, but I was like, "I could do this. Like this is something I can do." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And like 2 months into it, we ordered all of our product, got everything launched, and like we've been going nonstop ever since. So it's 2 years actually this month that we've been fully in business.
Wow.
Um,
2 years. So, do you still have your full time job too?
No, so I was actually able to quit my full-time job last summer, so last June, and just go down to part-time work just to work for the benefits like most people do. And so now I'm able to supplement my income with my full-time business and only work part-time and then be home more with my daughter and kind of have more freedom to do what I want to do and like pour more into my business and myself versus someone else.
My gosh, that's so cool. So, my gosh, so this business gave you the opportunity to be able to go down to part-time just for the benefits. That's amazing.
It did. It gave me so many more opportunities that I could have ever asked for. It's been such a fun, amazing journey that like I never would have thought for myself because I was
Mhm,
like always like I enjoyed being a working person prior to
mhm.
being a mom. I enjoyed my career. I had a nice career, and then like when I became a mom, everything shifted, and I was like, I can't keep going at the rate I'm going because something's gonna drop, and I didn't want it to be my family or my daughter. So I had to come up with something to like really reel me back into my new reality versus my pre mom life. And this was able to let me do that because of the flexibility of the business, and like I can take on as much as I want or as little as I want. And it's a kids party place, so I can party business, so I can always I bring my daughter with me to setups because it's
Yeah.
for kids. So like no one really cares that my daughter's helping me set up or take down because it's a kid's business. It's not like it's anything for like corporate events or where there's a bunch of professionals all over. So it's really fun because she gets to be integrated into our business as well. So it's kind of like a family thing versus just like me going to work and like coming home and diving
Yeah.
back into mom life. Um,
Oh my goodness, I have so many questions. I'm so excited. I am so excited. My first question though, it just kind of stemmed off of what you said. This and
Mhm.
basically with your business, I'm assuming after you were just kind of talking, you just go in, set it up, and then you come back and clean it up later. You don't stay for the full party, correct?
No, we don't stay for it. So like your
That's awesome.
parties at whatever time we'll come in, like usually like 2 hours before, set everything up, introduce ourselves, let them know to have a great party, set everything up as, as best
Yeah.
as like matching to their theme and all of that stuff. And then like whenever the party's over, usually like 4 or 5 hours later, we'll come back, clean it up, and it's completely off the client. Like they do nothing except enjoy and like have a good time.
That's awesome.
Nothing for them to clean, touch, nothing.
I love it. So now you said that you do it by themes, and I also looked, and you do like you had a really cute Harry Potter theme, and like you do it for all the
Yeah.
events. You even have their names and everything on it. How are you able to do that for each one? How are you able to customize?
So I own a lot of product. Currently, my garage is filled like a soft play warehouse, which is very convenient because it's on site and I don't have to go far for it.
Uh huh.
but I own a lot of different pieces in a lot of different colors. So I kind of like started off when I first started, I only got like basic colors, what I thought would
Mhm.
be popular, like blue, pink, the generics. And then as time went on, I added more and more and more. And then most of the pieces that we do have actually are like changeable covers. So like I have a bunch of different colors in one piece for per se, and I don't have to stock 10 of those pieces. I can stock one and just change the covers out as I need them, which is pretty convenient.
Yeah, super convenient.
So, yeah, so like I'll basically ask the client like, "Hey, what's your theme? What's your color palette?" All of that stuff so I can get the inspiration, and then I'll pair it and cater it to that theme. Like I don't do like an a la carte where they'll like pick their own pieces.
Mhm.
I'll just say, "This is what I have. This is what would fit best," and kind of like work from there.
Very cool. Okay, so far I'm loving this business. I am loving this because you basically have a warehouse in your garage and you're able to bring your child with you and still be
Yeah.
creative. This is a really
It is.
great.
It's fun because it's really fun. And I actually come from an interior design background. Like I went to school for it. I used to work in the field before I became a mom. So I lost that part of me
Mhm.
when I had to change careers when I had Bella. So this kind of like is my interior design like creative side coming out into a new era, which is kind of fun.
That is great. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, that's so fun. So, was there a specific moment or an event that made you realize, wow, this is going to work?
Yes, I had gotten like a really big client last year, and it was like it went over so well. It wasn't even like that big of a client. It was just like a really big party where they ordered a lot of stuff
Mhm.
and it went really well. And they were so happy. They had like referred me to a bunch of people, and it was like I came home and I was like, I can do this. Like people like this. They like me. They like the business. They like the product,
Mhm.
and it's consistent and it's consistently getting busier.
Mhm.
So at that time I was just like, I can do this full time. And if I have to try it. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, worst case scenario, I go back to working full time. But I had to try it in order to see if it would work. And I already had about a year under my belt before I was able to like take it to full time income. And it was increasingly getting busier. So I was like, you know what? What's the worst case? Then I just go back to what I was doing if it doesn't work. And it's just, taken off by storm even from then. So it's just been ever growing and ever increasing, which is awesome.
Yeah, seriously. And I love the common theme of there just hits a point where you're like, yeah, I'm going to be able to do this and it's either like what's the worst that can happen is I go back to work. Like that is such an incredible thought because honestly
Hmm.
that I feel like that holds so many people back because that fear of what am I going to do if this is going to fail. And like you just said it so calmly like I just go back to work. Like why is that not just a thought for all of us? Like why is it this
Because like
terrifying?
change is so scary. I mean, I hated change. I always have hated change. And I'm like, even like the tiniest little things I used to have like massive anxiety over. And after I had Bella and she got older and I realized that like time goes really fast, I'm like, she's changing, she's changing so quickly. Like, why can't I change? And if it doesn't work, then you just change to something else. So it kind of like hit like a pivotal, like mental point where I was just like, you know what? Enough is enough. I have to try. If I don't try, then I'm never going to know. And I've kind of carried that with me over the past couple of years and it's worked in business and personal and, it's been working well so far.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. It's just like such a smooth thought. Okay, what was your very first rental setup like and what did you learn from it?
My first setup was, if I remember it correctly, a disaster. I actually had booked, so it was like I didn't at that time. It was my very first one, and of course, I booked two parties in one day on my very first day of doing parties because I was like, I have enough. I could do this. This is fine. So I had my dad and my mother in law helping me that day. Mistake number one, and then. Which to this day, like my mother in law helps me all the time. She's amazing. But having my dad involved was just like a whole nother situation. So that was rule number one, which should not have done. But it was outdoors and it was hot and it was on unlevel grass. And I didn't have the proper like knowledge to like kind of like counteract like how things would go. Like I didn't, this is my first ever. So I was like, we'll just kind of wing it. Could not have won it. Like it was the full flooring was falling apart. The gates were not connected, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But they still loved it. They loved it. She referred me to her sister-in-law the next year. Like it, they still didn't care. Like they were so happy, and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess we'll just figure it out for next time."
Oh my
But I learned. I learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot, and I'm still learning. Every time I do a party, I'm like, "Oh, I learned something new today." So, it's ever changing, ever learning, and, like, that's how I know I'm kinda going in the right direction is that I'm learning something new every time and kinda, like, adjusting accordingly.
Honestly, though, like, shout out to the nice people that, know that this is a startup business and are just so
Yeah.
supportive anyway and are like, "Yeah, no, this is great." Like, I love those type of people. Oh my god.
Yeah, they were so supportive. It was like, it was great, and they were like, "The kids loved it." So, like, we were fine. I'm like, "As long as the kids had fun, I guess that's all that matters,
Yeah,
right?"
literally top priority. If you got that,
Mhm.
you are going to be so successful in this business.
Yeah.
What goes into planning a soft play or bounce house setup that most people don't realize?
What goes into it is a lot of prep work and, like, time management.
Mhm.
So, like, you see the end result on pictures, like, everything looks nice and pretty, nice and clean, like, it looks beautiful, but,
Yeah.
like, what you don't see is, like, every single ball has been wiped down, washed, and cleaned. Every single flooring piece and gate piece has been washed and cleaned and prepped and ready for this event. So, that's after every single party, like, we come
Mhm.
home, we clean everything, it gets put back on the shelf, and then gets used for the next party. So, there's a lot of hours of cleaning that people don't understand,
Mhm.
and not like clients necessarily, but like when they're like, "Oh, what's the hardest part?" I'm like, "Honestly, the cleaning is the worst part because it's just cleaning everything takes longer than doing I could go do a setup and pick it up in less time than it takes me to clean a bag of balls." It's insane. I need to hire someone just to do the cleaning for me, but then I'm also neurotic and I need to like know what's going on. That's like what takes the most. And then like just kind of like the back and forth with the clients, getting them
Yeah.
booked and ready and prepped and like contracts and making sure we have enough time for setup and cleanup because some venues only allow a certain amount of time before and
Mhm.
after the party. So it's kind of like cleaning and time constraints are really my biggest challenges when going into it.
Yes, I hope on the day that you do your takeover, you show us how you clean a bag of balls.
People ask me all the time. They're like, "How do you clean this?" I was like, "Literally, you take a ball and I like wipe it with a wipe, every single one of them because they all get so dirty, and I don't understand what these kids do to them to make them so dirty."
It's their
I'm
little
like,
it's their little feet in the mud, that's what it is. Oh my
I
goodness.
always tell people, like, the worst party that I ever had to clean up was my own daughter's birthday party, and it was in my backyard, and it was so like, they were so muddy mess like, the kids were muddy messes, and it took me forever to clean all of that stuff, and I'm like, "I can't even complain right now because it's my own kid." Like, I can't even say anything because it's my kid that made this mess.
My gosh. Oh my gosh. What was the most fun or unique event that you've ever done?
Honestly, a couple weeks ago, we did a Wicked party, which Wicked was like all the rave for a couple of months. And this client had an Alphabet setup and a Glinda setup. So we did all pink and white and we did all black and green. And it was such a cool, like, dynamic because the room was set up beautifully. Like they had a yellow brick road on the dance floor. It was like the coolest party. And she was like, "Oh, I want like two setups for this party and one with each color palette." And I was like, "That's going to look awesome." Like I already had a real idea in my head. I was like, "This is going to be great pictures." Like
Yeah.
that was the by far the coolest party we've ever done. And I was so happy with the outcome of it. And she was so happy too.
Oh, I love me some Wicked. I love me some Wicked.
Oh, I loved it.
So I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So what platforms or strategies have helped you get bookings?
Honestly, Instagram and word of mouth. Like I started off with just Instagram, like posting as much as I could. Like
Mhm.
I still don't understand the algorithm or how social media works or how people find me, to tell you the truth. A lot of people are just like word of mouth, like, "Oh, my cousin used you or my friend used you." And it's like, because they've been to those parties and they see how well it keeps the kids happy. And then a lot of like Instagram ads I run like once a month. And I seem to get a lot of like feedback from those as well. But posting a lot and keeping up with Instagram platform has helped me tremendously to get my name out there.
Yeah.
And Facebook groups, like Facebook mom groups in the area, that has like been very helpful too. Cause like you can like only on certain days you can post like your business and whatnot. And that's kind of been helpful too when people are like always asking for soft play businesses or entertainment ideas and stuff like that. So that's also helpful.
I'm circling back to the Facebook groups. We talked about this in a past interview as well. I'm telling you guys, like you keep hearing it. Facebook groups for your, especially if you're offering an in-service, like Facebook groups for your county, for the moms in your county, check those out
Mhm.
because that is literally a gold mine waiting to
That's
happen.
where it's at. That's where it's at. Because people don't want to keep like people don't Google. Like, I mean, I don't Google. I'll just like go to Facebook and see what I can find. Or
Yeah.
like, I'm just part of so many groups. I'm like, well, these moms know what they're doing. Let's see what they're saying over here on this chat. So it's been awesome because like moms are trying to help moms, I feel like, and that's
Oh,
kind of like where
100%.
that platform helps a lot.
I just asked last week, where can I find a baseball camp for my 7-year-old? Like,
Yeah.
they're going through, they're doing it. They have those ideas. It's whoever
Yeah.
thought of the first one, like Chef's Kiss. You are to
Yep.
thank for this.
Literally.
You are to thank. What's something that surprised you about growing a local service-based business?
The competition
Mhm.
and like that it seems so like overly saturated, but it's not. And that might sound a little weird, but like there's a lot of like soft play companies in Monmouth Ocean County.
Mhm.
And it seems like there's a lot of them that are like constantly busy and booked and all of that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to get any business because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And I was like afraid of that. I was like, oh my God, like they're going to, a new one's going to pop up and they're not going to want me anymore. They're going to want the new one or whatever.
Mhm.
But the sheer, like, kindness that comes from, like, befriending other companies that do the same thing as you has really helped because, like, I've become friends with a lot of the other vendors and a lot of, like, other people in the industry and stuff, and it's, like, fun and nice to connect and, like, share ideas, but also share, like, intel and, like, kinda, like, bounce ideas off of each other. So it's like, for instance, if I can't take a party, I'm like, "Okay, I can recommend these other companies that may be able to help you because I'm not available, but, like, I know that they might be." And it's been helpful in that sense to,
Mhm.
like, be friendly and not be, like, standoffish
Mhm.
because I don't think that gets you very far
For sure.
in a small business where you're catering to, like, local people. You wanna be as friendly, obviously, as possible to keep your name out there and alive.
Yeah, for sure. I love that thought too, because I was just thinking in my head, like, yeah, there might be a couple of them, right? But if you can only do one birthday party at 11 a.m. with your things, somebody else might ask you for a party at 11 a.m. And it's nice to be able to, say, oh, I can't do it, but this person can. And then when they have a party at 12
Yeah.
and you're available, it's like, well, this person can. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been nice, and I've made a lot of friends along the way, which I didn't think I would ever do,
Mhm.
and it's been eye-opening to have that new found friendship in this business, which has been nice.
Yeah. You mentioned before, like, how a lot of this is run on referrals or maybe
Mhm.
repeat customers. Do you do something special to, like, promote that? Like, oh, if you refer somebody, they get whatever, or you get money off your party.
No, I don't do like a referral program essentially. If you are a returning client, I do give them a returning client discount because they've already booked with me once. I'm honored
Mhm.
that they're coming back to me again for the next year. But a lot of people are just so happy to like spread the word because they were just so happy with our service, which is
Yeah.
just amazing to hear. And like, I'm so honored and happy that people like want to talk about it,
Mhm.
but mostly because they were just so happy that their kids were playing for the entire 4-hour party that they're like, "I'm gonna shout your name from the rooftops and tell everybody to call you because, like, I was able to enjoy myself while my kids played." And it's like they're like, "This is the best money I've ever spent." And the best part is, like, when the husbands say that to me because 'cause they're like a lot of clients are like, "Oh, I don't know if my husband wants to spend that much money on a play area," and then when I come to pick up, the husbands are like, "This is the greatest thing ever. I don't know why I was combating you." And I'm like, "Talk to your wife, I'm not sure."
That sounds like a your wife problem.
Yep.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so true. That's so true.
Yep.
So what's one thing that your daughter taught you that helped in your business?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. She's taught me that not everything is as big of a deal as it seems. Like, obviously, I get very stressed and very like anxious if I'm like even running a few minutes late or something's not going according to plan. And she's just always like, "Mommy, it's okay. Everything's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine." Because I always say the time, like, "Oh, it's fine, Bella. Everything's fine." So, like, when she repeats it back to me when I'm like in the middle of like, having
Mhm.
a full blown mental breakdown. She's like, "It's fine." And I'm just like, "You're right, Belle. It is fine. It's fine. Everything's fine."
My God. What a little sweet pea.
She is. She's
I
the
love our little
sweetest little thing.
love them. They're so sweet. Where do you see Little Bean Adventures in the next year or 2?
I see it to I see it growing and expanding more than it is sticking with soft play and like small bounce houses. Like I still
Mhm.
want to stick with that as a core, but I really would like to get into more fun like add-ons, if you will, or
Yeah.
like things that like kind of accompany a kids party. I have a few ideas and things in the works that I'm trying to that will like kind of like go hand in hand with having a kids party. And I'm hoping to like expand on that and be able to kind of like tap into a more like weekday income market because a lot of our parties are on the weekends and I'm looking to hopefully like kind of tap into like a different income strategy in the next year or two.
Awesome. So would you care to share anything that you're thinking about for the weekday type situation?
For weekdays, I've always wanted to like do almost like pop-up events where like I mean there's a lot of like play cafes and like stuff like
Yeah.
that where you can go and bring your kids. I tried it last year, didn't go anywhere. I just wasn't prepared like mentally and like marketing it enough
Mhm.
properly. But I would love to get into like pop-up play dates where like
Cool.
you set up at like a dance studio or like an empty space where it's like, just free open space. We come set up a huge play area, bring your kids, bring your friends, everything. Let the kids play for an hour, hour and a half. And it's kind of like a different location every week or something
Mhm.
like that. So it's like you're kind of getting out, you're getting into new neighborhoods, into new like seeing different areas, maybe highlighting the space that we're renting, kind of highlighting them a little bit and working like hand in hand with other businesses. Even have like a coffee pop-up vendor like theirs, bringing their coffee, bringing their treats, so mom can have a coffee while the kids are playing. So
Love it.
kind of like a play cafe adjacent, just
Yeah.
not with all the crazy overhead and like stuff that goes with having a actual location.
Oh my gosh, that's a brilliant idea. And it'll be really cool to also network with businesses and small businesses and, to try to also get your name out there more too.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I meet so many like party industry people
Mhm.
as it is, but to be able to meet like other just like regular small business vendors, like again, like coffee shops or coffee I
Mhm.
see so many coffee trailers now that are like going around or like a food truck or something
Yeah.
like that's a little bit more small timey or even like a dance studio that's just like a small dance studio that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's I would like to try to tap into that a little bit as
I love it.
well.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be so great. And I love how when you are fully like immersed in your small business and you're really passionate about it, you think of ways to make it stay and make it work. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do something else. You're like, no, no, I'm going to take my weekend business and turn it into a weekday business. That just was like entrepreneurial 101. I love
Yeah,
that.
and I never saw myself as an entrepreneur, but now that I'm here, I'm like, I'm never going back. I'm like, Vinny, I
Yeah.
am not going back to 9 to 5. I will figure out something to get me. I am not going back.
I work for me and I work for me alone. And that's it.
Exactly.
My goodness. What does a money hungry mama mean to you?
It means that I get to have more freedom to do what I want, when I want, with whom I want. I can now like wholeheartedly say I enjoy working for myself and being able to make my own shots because I get to spend more time with my daughter and my husband. Now we're not running around during the week to like get to the next practice or next event after school or whatever. Like now during the week I have my daughter home with me and I'm able to like go to the playground with her on a random Wednesday afternoon versus having to wait to have all that family time and bonding time till the weekends and later at night when other things have to happen, just as much as spending time. So I feel like my quality of time with my family has gone significantly up and I'm just like overall more happy. And that's kind of where like I'm driven by the money because it helps me to stay home more with my
Mhm.
kids, with my
Mhm.
kid, with my husband, with my family, with my friends.
Yeah.
I have more friends now than I did when I worked full time. And it's because I'm able to supplement and work for myself that makes me like drive to be that like money hungry mama. Like it's amazing. I'm so proud of myself for like where I've come and my husband has been so helpful along the way. And it's just been such an awesome, fun journey.
Oh my goodness. I love that you're proud of yourself. I feel like, it takes a moment for us to say that. And I think, it's not that that happens overnight where it's like, I'm proud of myself, but you're 2 years into your business. You were able to quit your full time job. You're able to make the time. You're thinking of new ways to do things. I think like you really built something successful and you should be proud. So that is beautiful. Oh, incredible.
Thank you.
What's one piece of advice people would normally have to pay for in your field, but you're willing to share with our mamas today?
Don't belittle yourself. Don't I learned this very much the hard way. Don't like sell yourself short just because you're trying to gain clients and gain your name out there. Like it's always good to, give little like almost like freebies to like get your name out there. But if someone is trying to like belittle you and like really like egg you on and say, "Hey, can you do this for nothing since you're just starting out?" Like don't do that to yourself. You have a product, you have a good idea. Obviously, people want it or they want it. Don't stoop down to that level just because you're trying to get your name out there because not every client is for you and you're not for every client. I've learned that the hard way quite a few times, even just recently, that not everybody is for me, and that's okay.
Mhm.
So try and like stay true to yourself and like true to what you're, because that will get you a lot farther than taking on um a client who's trying to get something for nothing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And a couple episodes back, actually, the first episode, Jess had mentioned that she put in a clause in her contract that said a respect clause. And it was basically like, if you're not respectful, I can break this contract at any time. Oh,
That's genius.
yeah, something to add into, especially, I think that's something that, I just want to keep bringing up and reminding everybody that
Yeah.
if you don't have that in your contract, definitely put that in there because we all deserve respect because we're human. Just because you're throwing money in a direction of a small business doesn't make us little. It makes us strong because we're trying to do this. And you shouldn't, just because it's money doesn't mean that you get to disrespect. So
I
definitely look to put that in.
I agree, and I'm definitely going to jot that down in my notepad after this
Yeah.
because something's got to get reworked.
Yeah, no, it was so incredible. I
It's
was like,
genius.
"You put a respect clause?" And she goes, "Brittany,
Yeah,
100%." She's like, "It's a contract." And it's so true. She
yeah,
had her lawyer look at it and everything, and it's, like, legit. She put that in.
yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been following Jess for a long time. I love all of her work. Unfortunately, I got married before I found her because like her stuff is beautiful. Otherwise,
Yeah, no.
I would have hired her. But that's amazing. That's awesome. Amazing.
For sure, for sure. Okay, any other big events or something that you want to share with us today about your business?
I have nothing to share right now. We're just chugging along and like getting through our busy season, which is summertime. Summer and fall are like our constant busiest seasons. And I have some fun things in the works involving like things for like trying to kind of like capture some other elements of your kids and their birthdays. But that's all I'm gonna say for now until I'm ready to like fully launch it, which hopefully will be towards the end of June. But just stay tuned and I'm hoping that, we just keep on rolling and keep getting all of the business that, people want to give us.
I love it. All right, where can our followers support you and follow along and figure out what's gonna happen at the end of the summer?
You can follow us on Instagram at Little Bean Adventures underscore NJ because that apparently Little Bean Adventures was taken. So underscore NJ or our website, littlebeanadventures.com, our email, our phone number, everything's listed on our website. And I'm available for, pretty much any time of day to chat about your next party.
My goodness. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on here today and helping us all start our own little soft play bounce house adventure.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.